Hey folks, welcome to another episode of Arcane Assist. I'm Tim. This week I'm joined by Jay from the Battle Driven podcast and a local gamer of ours. How's it going, Jay?
Not bad, Tim. Thanks. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing quite well. And following up on our playing a bunch of requested casters program here, we are playing some Mercenaries versus Signar. Jay's playing the Lely's Resistance theme with Gastonne2, and I am playing the Gravediggers theme with Colonel Siege Brisbane. That's Siege2, for those of you who are not in the know. Jay's going to go over his list, so I'll talk about mine, and we'll jump right into the game. So, Jay, tell us about what you brought.
Well, I kind of, given the nature of what Gaston does, I kind of went with a shootier skew. So I have Gaston with Reinhold. Reinhold can't give him an extra shot when he's on death dealing, when he has 4 shots, but when he's shooting normally, he can actually tune him up to 3 shots, which is not bad at all.
He gives you lucky shot, like the reroll, and he gives you stealth mitigation. So
yeah, he brings a lot of tools, especially with the gun line. I have 2 Mariners, as I've said in I think a previous cast. I love Mariners. I think they're just lacking a tiny bit, but you know, Gaston can actually tool them up, range 17. I have a Mule, Anastasia Debray, Terran de la Rosa.
Terran de la Ravisi.
Yeah, we'll go with her. Shooty girl.
She's a Lely's gun mage.
Lely's gun mage. Elish Garrity, Major Gibbs, Gorman DeWolf, or currently we'll call that Gorman 1.
Adorable.
Ragman, Rupert, a Goblin Tinker, and 2 units of Exemplar Errants, both with the UA.
So you picked Menoth units to be your Lely's ones. That's relevant in this theme because they get access to the Lely's theme benefits like Pathfinder. They also get Reposition 3 from Ragman. Or pardon me, not from Ragman, from
Gibbs.
Major Gibbs in his command range. They also get Feign Death in his command or something like that?
They get Feign Death in his command. If they happen, they get Toughen. If they Toughen, Knockdown.
Nice. Okay. That's pretty cool. Okay, I will talk about my theme. There's some interesting similarities between our 2 lists, even though I think they play kind of differently. So I'm playing Colonel Siege Brisbane in the Gravediggers theme, which is his kind of... He's good in a lot of places, but this is sort of his home theme. He has Desperate Pace for Trenchers, which is a really, really incredible tool. Battle group-wise, I'm taking a Hunter and Triumph, his character Jack, who is also available in the theme, even if he wasn't Siege's character. And then I have Captain Maxwell Finn, Commander Anson Hitch, a patrol dog, 2 Trench Busters, Ragman, Major Harrison Gibbs, who is partisan in the theme, 2 Trencher Master Gunners, models I haven't put on the table a ton, but I'll talk about that tech in a minute, a max unit of Trencher Infantry with their officer and sniper, 2 Trencher Express teams, and a maximum unit of Trencher Commandos with their officer and a single Scattergunner. There's some really cool tools in this list. Let's go over. Triumph gives you some access to stealth mitigation. You've got a bunch of sprays. Both Master Gunners have scatter guns. So does the Scattergunner. The Trencher Express teams can push things out of zones, knock key pieces down, and they give you access to grievous wounds against jacks and beasts that you want to really lock down. And then your Trencher Master Gunners can give extra shots to Express teams because Express teams are, of course, weapon crews. So they give you a lot of synergy there. Fury on Trencher Infantry is really, really powerful. Fury on Commandos plus their mini feat can let them do a lot of work against some things. So this list has a deceptive amount of armor cracking, and it's got some really, really good infantry mitigation tools.
And in addition to Desperate Pace and his feat, you can actually get quite the unexpected range threat and unexpected angle threats.
Yeah, so the feat can kind of let you like move troops in an angle unexpectedly. You can also you threat really, really far with Siege personally, and if he furies himself, he's POW strength 18. He knocks you down on the first hit, and he can do the feat to move 3, and then jump, and then currently he can charge after doing that, but probably eventually he'll have to jump and then walk. But he can still get like a 15-inch personal threat or 18 with the jump charge. There's a bit of an odd interaction that we can talk about briefly if we want, or we can skip it. Either way, I think we're probably...
I think if you went there, you have to finish.
All right, fine. So there's a weird nuance with the way that the jump charge situation is worded. Obviously, the rocket pack rule says once per activation, he can spend a focus to be placed completely within 5. He cannot use rocket pack during activation in which he charges. That seems pretty unambiguous. Unfortunately, there's a weird timing step there. And it says, during activation which this model was placed, the result of using the rocket pack ability, the damage roll for his next melee attack is automatically boosted. So he can get in there and do a boosted damage roll at 13-inch threat, no worries. However, because he's not a unit, he doesn't get like a charge order at the beginning of his activation. So he's not charging until the moment where he starts a charge. So if he simply says, I'm going to rocket pack, and I haven't charged, so I can go ahead and do that, he rocket packs, and then he says, okay, now I'm going to charge. And there's nothing in the rules of Rocket Pack that specifically says a model cannot charge after he has been placed by Rocket Pack. So technically that's legal according to the timing intervals. I think that's a totally unintended interaction and will probably get changed. However, I've been to a number of events where we've had it clarified on site, and it seems to be consistent with what everyone's interpretation of the rules is. So it is how we've been playing in practice games.
It presents the potential for an interesting gotcha. Like, given the wording on that, do you think an opponent should clarify that like straight? Like, if you and I were playing and we didn't know each other, would you clarify that straight off the bat?
Yeah, I would explain that to people. And I would probably, if I was going to an event and I felt like it was an unintuitive rule that not everyone might know, I would ask the event organizer how they wanted to rule it at the very beginning of the event. And then I would be unambiguous with it about my opponent, about the interaction with my opponents at the beginning of every game, because that's how I play War Machine.
And that's how you play classy.
I try to. Anyway, without further ado, we'll jump right into the game here and talk to you guys about what's going down.
All right, so I won the die roll to go first. I guess the first thing we're going to talk about is terrain, though. So you'll see towards the top of the screen there is a water feature and a forest directly across from it. In the middle of the battlefield, we have a burning earth. On my side of the table, there's a wall, and you'll see what looks like a weird rubbly patch in between the wall and the water, and that is my theme bonus. I get to put a piece of rubble down, 5-inch AoE rubble down within 18 inches of my table edge. So then on Tim's side of the table, you see there's a hill. Towards the bottom, there's two obstructions almost directly across from each other and a forest in the bottom zone. So getting down to brass tacks, I put Gastonne right in the middle. I put a Mariner across from the water so I can take advantage of the water. I put a Mariner on the bottom to add some, jack pressure, because Tim has a lot of dudes, and Mariners can dig deep with their shots, but they also have Thresher. And Thresher is an interesting, unexpected tool on that jack. Well, I guess it's not unexpected to Tim, but it's in general, it's a little bit unexpected, and people, it gives you the ability to clear out infantry a little better than normal. I put the Goblin Tinker down there to be the loader for that jack. I have Rupert on the top to be the loader of the other Mariner. And I put the Mule kind of smack dab in the middle, so I have three ranged jacks pressuring 3 different parts of the board. The Mule is, with the shortest range, shortest in air quotes, is sort of in the middle. I put I put Elish Garrity, Gibbs, and Reinhold with my caster in the middle, and I passed the turn to Tim.
Yeah, most of your army here is going to advance deploy. You put Terran, I think, in the rubble. That's a cool feature of the Lily's theme, is that you get to put a solo in that rubble, kind of hanging out. I deployed, again, deploying minimally models in my regular deployment. Most of my army is going to AD as well. So it's actually kind of weird. We're playing very, very different lists, but we're kind of playing some elements of the match as a bit of a mirror. Lots of AD, lots of guns, lots of combined arms. Both of us are playing Gibbs. Both of us are playing Ragman. Both of us are playing battle groups that are primarily about shooting on the approach and then only kind of closing to melee later. So,
yeah, it's a really interesting, especially because it's an interesting dichotomy of shooting, because we're both.
Yeah, there's kind of a who wore it better going on here.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah,
I'm in green. That's prettier than red.
You're not wrong.
Okay, so I deploy 2 units of errants pretty symmetrically. One so they can both challenge each zone and press hard up the middle at the same time, and then I pass it to Tim for his AD.
So, thing that I forgot, which is really relevant in this theme, is that all of those errants have Pathfinder. So these are basically Mark II errants I'm staring at, which is pretty decent. I looked at that and I thought, well, Jay's going to be really struggling with that water, and all of a sudden that rubble's not so great, and rapidly remembered that Oh, right. Pathfinder is a big deal on them. So I put my commandos kind of densely packed just around the bottom obstruction here. I'd like them to be able to like draw really clean beads of line of sight, assault or charge into pieces, kill them with anatomical, and then get off some gunshots to dig really deep on their mini feat turn. Having said that, they are kind of restricted in that lane a little bit by the placement of this obstruction on the bottom. And it's more important that my trencher infantry be able to do that. So I'm a little bit penned in. I took this side because I think it's actually kind of the more open side, oddly enough. This is a list that doesn't have a lot of Pathfinder, but it has good access to just a lot of board presence tools. So I deployed my full unit of infantry, largely on the hill there. Got Triumph directly behind them. He's probably going to take up station on that hill. I put the Trencher Master Gunner. He's beside the Express team. Maxwell Finn is kind of behind the forest. I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to have a kind of moment where I put a bunch of Trencher infantry up. Jay comes crashing into their lines, and Finn gets to play cleanup patrol and just kind of yo-yo through and kill all of the errants that charge the trenchers. So that's the theory behind this deployment. I've got kind of an express team ready to take both zones. That unit being a unit is just really amazing in terms of scoring circle zones. This list looks like it's kind of short on units, and it actually ends up having lots of them. Importantly, my trenchers begin the game dug in. I don't want to just get assaulted off the hop in my AD line.
So one important thing to note is up by the clock, you'll see Anastasia DeBray. She's deployed in ambush. So I start my turn off by moving Gastonne up and casting 2 spells. On the errants towards the top of the screen, I cast Life Bond.
And Dauntless Resolve is the one, I think?
And Dauntless Resolve on the other one. So the first spell gives me Shield Guard, and when the guys die, I get a soul on my caster. The other spell, Tools, is +3 armor and tough, which 12-19 errants are nothing to laugh at.
That's very good. There's a reason that Menoth does not have Arcane Shield.
And I also feat, because looking at the amount of gun, Gaston's feat has a lot of tools in it and a lot of perks. It gives Ghost Walk, which I really don't need here. It gives Run and Gun, but it gives Stealth. Yeah. So I feat top of 1 because I'm staring down a lot of guns, and I want to continue to press the advantage of going first.
I know this wasn't Jay's plan with feeding here, but I was like, oh yeah, that gets around those errands having problems with that no Pathfinder. They have Ghost Walk, so they're fine. And I'm just like, I'm still in the errands don't have Pathfinder. I'm fine here situation. Whereas they definitely do have Pathfinder, and I just don't remember it until late, and we'll hit a pivotal moment where we'll bring that up again.
So the interesting thing where you can actually press a little further with Gastonne is these Lealese. So I walk forward, cast my spells, and then thanks to Gibbs, I get to repo 3 and go hide behind a wall.
Yeah.
Basically, I press hard with the errants in the top zone. I sort of press a little. I spread out a little bit, press hard towards the middle of the table with the other units of errants, leaving a few to dabble into the zone. I throw the mule straight up the middle. I move the Mariner in behind it, and I move the Mariner on the top into the water to get some defensive bonuses.
Yeah, they're defense 12 base, so with concealment, they're defense 14. Like, that's not irrelevant. They get a lot out of that.
Yeah, and the other 1,000 miles is I put tough on the top unit of errants from Rupert. So now both my units of errants have tough. If they're within range of Gibbs, they get feign death if they manage to tough. And I think I'm pressing really aggressively up towards the middle, and I pass the turn to Tim.
Yeah, I like it. This is pretty great. There's Jay just marking his feat token. One of those fancy Moose Machine feat token bottle openers.
It goes really, really good with my Moose Machine shirt.
It does. Yeah, you're plugging our friends at Moose Machine. It's pretty cool. We're well networked, if nothing else.
Yeah. That sounds like a topic we talked about on Battle Driven.
Does it now? Well, look at us playing the Segway game. So I've got a bit of a puzzle here because Jay has a bunch of stealth dudes and I don't have a lot of stealth mitigation. Triumph can see through stealth, but his whole shtick where he gets shot in the maintenance phase, he doesn't have anything he can shoot right now that makes sense. I'm thinking about, like, if I desperate pace my commandos, do any of them get within 5 inches? is it worth doing like kind of an adorable turn where I mini feat to just, you know, kill a couple of guys with carbines or grenades? I decided that the answer is no. I'm not going to get the charge and then shoot with a carbine tech that I really want out of that mini feat, so I'm not going to mini feat with the commandos this turn. Conversely, the weapon crew here can get within 5 inches of a couple of different errants, and the more of them that I can kill on Jay's feat turn, the better off I am. So we activate the Trencher Master Gunner, who deploys in the regular deployment zone. He walks forward, and he tells the Trollkin here, you should just shoot that big gun twice, buddy. It's like a shotgun for killing bears. Why would you not shoot it more?
A shotgun for killing bears.
Well, it does it.
That's very
Canadian. I guess more like a rifle? Would it be better if it was a rifle?
I don't know. It's more like anti-aircraft cannon for killing bears.
Yeah, basically. So he manages to sneak into range of 2 of them. He takes his first shot, kills the guy, takes his second shot, and I'm looking for like a crit knockdown with the Thunderbolt gun so I can deny Jay making his tough check. That one gets it and kills him, so no tough on that gentleman.
Well, I think Grievous would prevent it anyways. I think you're...
Right, of course. They have Grievous wounds on this gun too. This Trencher Express teams are stupid good.
So I do get 2 souls from that?
Yep. Yeah, and you could have shield guarded them and put them in different spots, but I think like the only 2 guys that I can shoot with that unit are the right ones to let die.
Yeah, there was the targets. Yeah, it was basically those were the 2 softest targets, and I decided it was better than giving up some of my deeper guys, which I could use on better angles.
Yep. So as I mentioned before, I decided the commandos aren't worth trying to do more work than they can here. So I kind of lay a screen of a couple of commandos and then space the rest of the unit back. Try to protect them as much as possible.
They too have stealth.
They do, yep. Which
so
is
it leads to a stealth on stealth, shooty assault melee on shooty assault melee showdown.
Yeah, it's weird. As I say, this is more of a who wore it well
synergy battle
than you'd think. But it's kind of, I think it's a little bit reflective of the state of War Machine that we're seeing so many more kind of combined arms forces. I think it's actually really healthy and really cool. Here you see Siege just puts Fury on those commandos. He spends 1 to jump, and then he places a little rocket turret.
We'll call it what it is, a rocket turd.
It's a little insulting, but that's fair. The rocket turret is...
It's a turret to you. It poops all over me. It is a rocket turret.
It does, perhaps. So he places it on the flag. It's a solo. It can score that flag. It also has kind of access to sentry fire.
Say that again.
The rocket turret is a solo that can score the flag?
Yes.
Yeah.
It is a self-returning scoring solo.
I can pack it up in the maintenance phase too. But it's balanced because it can't shoot the turn you place it.
I'm not saying it's not balanced. I'm saying that's amazing tech.
It is. It's really cool. I like Siege's whole toolbox. And like I'm not even using a huge portion of it right now. I'm using basically Jump Pack to have more mobility and Fury for damage multiplication and the rocket, and that's all he needs to be. He also has the ability to, make things a little bit more defensive against shooting by putting down a hill or using the hill to be able to draw line of sight to something behind a bunch of other models. He's also got the razor wall I could use to deny lanes here. I don't think it's necessary to keep... Well, let me amend that. What I think is important right now is hanging on to a couple of focus camp to protect my caster and having a few shield guards, because Jay's list has a deceptive amount of shooting power. And I think it's really important that I not just kind of go crazy with Siege and forget that.
Mariners have range 15 base, and that can go up to 17 with... 17 base with, a spell. That spell that gives plus to fire group.
Fire group, yeah.
And add on to
range 15.
Range 15. Range 15. POW 14.
That's not.
Range 15. POW 14. AOE 3s. 17 with the spell I can never remember the name of. Fire group. No, fire group.
Fire group. Yeah.
And if I wanted to, I can actually walk and add another 5 inches to that and shoot off their base rat 5. As long as I end up within an inch of a
loader of some kind. And you've got lots of troops that can do that for you. Lots of solos that you don't mind repositioning with.
So I think you pressed forward a little bit here. You killed a couple of my closer errants. I couldn't make a tough roll to save my life. Got a couple more souls, and then you put up some clouds.
Yeah, the errant unit there that kind of did the old sampler. Some of the guys in the back dug in. Some of the guys in the front made clouds. And the two guys in the very, very front got within 5 inches and took a couple of shots. They're in range of Finn right now, who ran up behind that forest to hopefully do that cute, like, unpack and kill a whole bunch of errants thing. So they're actually Rat 7, which helps them a lot. That veteran leader doing a lot of work for you. And yeah, I think I left you in a little bit of a puzzle here.
I'm going to say that the cloud wall, I think, is the deciding difference in that top part. Basically, I have access to 5 guys and nothing juicy behind it.
Yeah, I've tried to restrict what you could get.
So I allocate a few focus this turn. I'm on 3 souls with Gaston, which is not enough for him to go crazy, but it does give him the signs importance on his gun, and it gives him the ability to drop 1 for +3 def. So I activate Gaston. I believe I upkeep my 2 spells. I cast Fire Group, and I believe I've allocated a couple focus, so I'm on no camp behind a wall. So I decide that it's a good time to burn a soul for the extra 3 defense.
Yeah, the fact that he can just say, like, this turn I'm defense, what is he, 18 with the soul spent?
15 base goes to 18, and then the wall.
He's behind the wall for 22. Like, that's pretty safe. Even if Siege wanted to do the, like, jump into you and try to knock you down, like, over a wall at defense 18, your defense 20, like, Siege is looking to boost and roll a 14. That's not likely.
No, and that's knowing some of Siege's shenanigans, I decided that that wall was my friend.
Yeah.
So I believe what's going on here is the errants in the
You activated, I think, the Mariner and took a shot at the Express team here.
Yes.
The Mariner had to aim to do that. But, I mean, the Express team has cautious advance. So when they moved up and took that shot, they also got to dig in. So the Trollkin there was defense 17. So you aimed, needed a 10, boosted to hit. And the Trollkin are armor 15. So you aced him. Like, he has 5 boxes and you killed him straight off the hop. But he's knocked down because he passed his tough check. And then over here, Reinhold
removed stealth off the 1 commando so that the Mariner could the mule could get a shot in there and hopefully get a crit dev and
you hit but don't crit, kill the commando, and he also passes his tough check. So I'm 2 for 2 on tough checks.
You're an annoying consistent level of 100% on those tough checks.
Yeah. So I mean, yes, obviously that's really good. And now you're activating the Mariner. You're doing a 17-inch shot at the Trench Buster.
The Trench Buster in the back. And I roll very poorly on damage. Hit him, but I roll very poorly on damage. I think I do like 1 or 2 points of damage, 3 points of damage.
They're arm 18 because they have shields, which is really helpful. You get to put blast damage into a couple of commandos, which I should probably position these guys a little bit more strategically. I fail a tough check here, but you fail to break armor once.
Yeah, so far the attrition war is going your way.
So let's talk a little bit about this guy who denied stealth to in the middle of the clump of trencher commandos. What you're seeing right now is I've given you gaps between these models that you'd have to take free strikes from their 0.5-inch melee, but the gaps are sufficient that you can hug the model that you knocked down and not take free strikes from the other guy's 0.5-inch melee. So this guy being knocked down here is actually kind of all he needs to be for you to just get charges deep into this unit of commandos.
And I think I actually go. One of these guys actually goes through the fire or goes through the burning earth and gets lit on fire to make his charge, but it's worth it. So I actually do really well with my assault shots here.
Yeah, you hit most of them, which is impressive because they're only Rat 6, I think.
6. Mat 7, Rat 6.
Mat 7, Rat 6, because they're elites. They're knights. So you need 7s to hit, and then you need 4s to kill, and I fail a bunch of tough checks here.
Or you make them, and then I just kill you with the melee attack anyways.
I think I actually fail all of the tough checks on the commandos when it wouldn't have mattered because you'd kill them with the melee attack anyway. So it pays to be lucky where it counts. You don't break armor on this guy's assault shot, but you do kill him on the charge. He was knocked down, though, so I should not have made that tough check, and we corrected immediately.
So I feel I'm positioned really well in that bottom zone. I'm pressing really hard. I have some jamming models up. I'm contesting his flag.
And this is the Dauntless Resolve unit.
So this is the Dauntless Resolve
tough
unit.
And they're armor 19. Like
tough 19, 12, 19. Like that's I think most factions would kill for stats like that.
Yeah, they're pretty good,
especially with Pathfinder. And so towards the top, I'm Taryn's going, and she's clearing the way for some charges by putting 2 brutal shots into the 2 lead trenchers.
I failed both of these tough checks as well, so we're rebounding on the tough situation.
I felt it was very kind of you to fail these 2 because it cleared a good path for me. So
let's talk about this for a second. So Jay's like, okay, this guy here looks like he's got line of sight to you through this range of the forest. So I'm like, yeah, of course he does. You can totally shoot me, and I'll just self-sack it, or I'll sacrifice. Sack pawn. And you're like, all right, I charge. And then I'm like, oh, right. They have Pathfinder. That's a theme benefit. You're going to kill Ragman. Well, hopefully you don't roll a 7 to hit.
And so I charge a bunch of other guys up there in the clouds. And this one errant over there, hiding behind the tree. I think we eventually moved the tree so you can see. Charged the knockdown express team member that I had that tuffed.
Yeah, we're probably going to kill the troll in the express team unit, which is actually that's really big because he's got the bear hunting gun. So like that's kind of the most important model in that unit.
So that's going into Ragman. I hit with the assault shot.
You missed with the assault shot because he has concealment.
That's right. I do missed by 1. Yeah. But then I hit with the charge attack and then
nope, we're over to trencher assault shots. You can make all your assault shots.
I made all the assault shots, yes.
Yep.
So actually, again, my assault shots are doing quite well.
Yep. The kill in trenchers, fail in tough checks. You get to make some redirected charge attacks in a few spots.
The assault
you break armor and kill the express team member.
On an assault shot.
On the assault shot. It's nice. It feels good. I mean, you need to roll a 6 because he was only down to 1 box. But
and there's...
That was a redirected charge onto the trencher. And then we make the charge attack on Ragman, which we remember after a second. I'm like, don't forget your charge attack on Ragman.
And then, that's a hit.
And that's a hit.
And bye, Ragman.
Yeah, karma didn't help me with that particular reminder. Alas.
Although, technically, even if we remembered like 6 or 7 like activations later, we'd still have to go back and do it because it's a mandatory action.
It's mandatory, but it's weird. I don't know. No matter what happens in that sort of situation, it's a little bit weird and awkward. So it's just best to remind your opponents about mandatory things.
And it's also the classy thing to do.
Well, it remains to be seen. I think the classy thing would be not positioning Ragman in range to get charged. But
no, that would be the smart thing to do.
Classy but not smart? Oh, well. You ship the turn back to me, and I just lost a ton of dudes. So, remember at the beginning of this list, the discussion here where I said this was a really good list, and I was going to show you how impressive it was? Guess I'm going to have to do that if this game isn't going to immediately go badly for me.
Oh, the one thing I forgot to say is I did move Gorman up to touch the flag, and then he put a cloud down to stealth himself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He's Prowl now?
Yes.
Really? That's a change from Mark II. Sweet.
Actually, he has stealth naturally.
Nah, see, he used to have stealth naturally. That's the way to be, Gorman. That way, if someone gets within 5 inches of him, they're also going to have to deal with his concealment. So a couple things happen here. Sorry, we're just rapidly recapping here. Triumph took a shot into debate where I want to shoot. Ultimately, I decided to shoot at the officer. He's right at 7, so he needs a 5 to the officer. So he's just gonna try to do that cool shot he's allowed to do in the maintenance phase. He kills the officer, and he hits the officer, and Jay shield guards the other model rather than take the damage on the officer. So he hasn't lost any boxes yet. So that was Triumph's shot in the maintenance phase. I also shot the rocket here, and then realized, and this is an error on my part, that the rocket doesn't have the shoot in the maintenance phase. He has the shoot when something comes into range of it. So we just treated that as what it did during its activation phase and proceeded with the turn. It cleared out a couple of errants.
Which it would have done anyways.
There was no dependency on order of activation there at all. I just put it in the wrong part of the turn.
So now the Ginsu blade, the living Ginsu blade, is walking in to do some work.
So Maxwell Finn, he's a captain, and apparently Gibbs is a major, although really that's a made-up title. More on that later. He advances, kills a trencher. He's got Grievous, so he prevents you from toughing, and he's a weapon master, so he just Rambos his way through these guys.
Also prevents me from sack punning.
Yep, yeah, exactly, because it's a healing effect, so the Grievous wounds will prevent it. I mean, you could do it. It would just still kill you. And then he kills 3 of those guys and repos back an inch. Well, not really repos, but killing sprees back an
Killing
inch.
spree back an inch.
Yeah. He's got Pathfinder base. Like, he's got stealth. He's 14/14. He has 8 boxes for God knows what reason. Like, he's really, really tough and really, really good.
It's because he's actually a secret Ogren. He's actually not human.
Well, he's Sylvester Stallone's character from Rambo.
Oh.
That's his narrative.
So he's like the War Machine equivalent of Sly Marlboro from 40K.
What game?
Yeah. Okay. Anyways.
Nah, I mean we know. Anyway, he's cool. I like him. He has some cool things. I did an assault because he just walked, but he also has an assault. AD, assault, Pathfinder, stealth, tough,
but no anatomical.
Not anatomical, but grievous wounds and weapon master.
Now I'm wondering if Dauntless, if that turn, if I had switched Dauntless to that side,
yep.
How much do you think that would have impacted the play of that
Well, now
particular?
Instead of needing to roll a 7 on 3 dice, he needs to roll a 10 on 3 dice, which is still average. And he has rapid strike, so he can make 2 attacks against one of the guys if he fails to break armor. So I think he probably would have still killed the 3 guys he killed, but maybe not. Like, I think. I mean, we're skipping some details here, but like, one of the things that's going to happen in a moment here is you're going to see a bunch of anatomical precision commandos try to kill guys with Dauntless Resolve. I don't break armor. Taking a couple of shots with the Express team here. They got told to take an extra shot by the Express team. They tag this gentleman with Grievous and they knock him down on the second shot, but they don't kill him.
They don't break
his
armor.
Which is, 6 breaks armor, but sometimes you don't roll 6s. And
the armor 19 skew is, again, I'm going to go back to it. That's a big deal on armor. Like, errants, I know a lot of people say you should take this unit or you should take that unit. I was really, really impressed with how errants play in this list.
Yeah, they've held their own. They've been a really good tar pitting unit. They've had a lot of tools. They've been able to stay relevant at every stage of the game. So the gentleman back here with the
spray template,
scattergun, he's the master gunner. So normally what he does is tell the Express team to take a second shot. But now that the Express team guy is dead, he's just going to use that scattergun with an aiming bonus and shoot and knock down the errant there.
The errant toughs, but that won't help for long.
Yeah. I mean, forcing him to tough is one more model dead. That helps.
You know what? This unit needs. I think Lealise needs a solo. It needs a Menoth solo that maybe gives no knockdown as well.
No. No, that's a horrible idea.
Just a thought. Just a thought.
All right, but non-character.
Okay, I can always erase the C. That's fine.
That's that works.
So you're pressing hard with the trenchers on the top right now, following up on the...
Yeah, so basically I'm moving up the infantry here. We're taking a couple of persons CRA shots. We're just trying to wipe this unit of errants. I'm putting a lot of attacks into them, but that's because if I kill all of the errants this turn, I can actually score this zone. So I do 4 damage to the officer here. He passes a tough check, and then the sniper shoots him, and the sniper finishes him off. That kills him. So I got 1 errant left in the zone. The Mariner's not quite in the zone, so as long as I kill this errant, I can score this zone. Now, my trenchers are not completely in the zone. However, I do have 1 member of the weapon crew left who is in the zone.
Yes, because
he is a unit.
Because I'm looking at it, and I wasn't concerned, because I'm like, he can't get his whole unit in there. No scoring is going to happen there. Oh, wait.
So, Major Gibbs here is going to go ahead and make his... he's going to assault. The reason I want to assault is because I need to crack this guy's armor. I'm running out of attacks, so I'm going to put 2 attacks into him instead of 1. The first attack with the military rifle kills him. I use the POW 11 version of it rather than the AoE 3 POW 10 version. And he repos just a little bit forward, possibly threatening pieces deeper here, possibly asking for an attack from one of Jay's pieces. Now that Ragman's dead, he's a much less important piece in the list, because one of the things that's really important that he does is grant repo 3 to Ragman. And now that I let Ragman die like a chump, Gibbs is basically just 2 damage rolls a turn. He has his critical brutal on his club, which I think is neat.
I think it's from all that time he spent hunting in the woods trying to beat deers to death.
Yeah, he's actually a cook, not a trencher at all.
Yeah.
He just stole someone's clothes.
And yep.
Yeah.
And that's one of the best backstories ever.
Yeah, and it had a major tag on it, so he's a major. And everyone in the Signarin units are just like, yes, sir, sir, yes, sir, and just pretend he's a major, I guess.
I think they hang you for that.
You don't question chain of command, though, right? Like, it's called the Gravediggers because they know what they do with mutiny.
Ooh. Either that or they've eaten his cooking, and that's where they end up.
Yeah, they're like, yes, sir, boss, totally.
Yeah. So I think you're leading the way with a trench buster up top to try and start clearing those errants.
Yeah, so I'm trying to unjam the errants a little bit. The trench
unjam
buster,
the commandos.
Or pardon me, unjam the commandos a little bit. The trench buster here shoots his gun with the assault shot, doesn't kill this guy, makes his melee attack, his charge attack, doesn't kill, and then he makes a shield attack and proceeds to not kill. So armor 19 is doing work.
It does. It feels wonderful. Now I'm going to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
The second unit today was almost a unit of bastions.
Yeah,
because armor 19 set defense bastions with Sanguine Bond, with the errants close enough to shield guard for them. I thought, but then I went with the double errants.
Okay.
But I actually think I might have found a home for bastions.
I mean, they still only have 5 boxes, right?
I know. I didn't say a good home. It's like a wayward home for bad children.
Gibbs can heal them back to full. Is that?
That was one of the things I was thinking.
That's cute.
It's like a wayward home for bad children. It's not like where you.
A wayward home for bastions.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a little bit like a poor version of Madrak's feat with champions, but with bastions. If they had a UA with 8 boxes, I'd be all in.
The errant CID is going to be coming down the pipe soon, so hopefully they get something.
I think that's a place where we'll see some of those type of changes. So we're getting a little off track. The commando unit here gets a press forward order. Some pretty timid charges here, but basically.
But some exceptionally well positioned charges.
Oh, well,
you pull a couple really good angles out. You cleared some lanes from your own models to make room for other models, and you only had to light one of your own guys on fire.
Yeah, the scattergun lights himself on fire. There's some weirdness here. So like what I do is kill you and deny tough and do an automatic point of damage. But what I'd like you to do is not self-sacrifice, because if you self-sacrifice, I don't get a quick work shot. So I'm staggering the attacks that I make in an order sufficient that eventually you'll have to give me a quick work shot, and I'll maybe be able to kill another guy. They're only POW 12 even under the mini feat, which is what they're doing here. So I still need 8s to kill these guys, but just more attacks is basically the order.
The anatomical it does a point all the time.
Sorry, the 8s are on the guns.
It's on the guns, yes.
Yeah, the anatomical is a good solve for this here. Trench Buster here charges. This guy gets his flank.
And I think, he just crushes.
Yeah, his charge attack amply kills this gentleman. Unfortunately, I think you called a sacrifice for that guy, or did you
no, you were just out of half inch for the other. I let you kill the guy,
right? Because
you're out of half inch to get the shield attack in on the other guy.
Right, gotcha.
But then
Siege charges in, and he kills you with a charge attack. He's POW 15 on that. Knocks you down and then kills you. So there's no tough check because he has ram, and then he uses jump back to jump just back a little bit to relative safety. I'm trying to use distance as much as possible. You've got really, really long threat ranges, but where he jumped here, he's within 3 inches of both of the trench busters. So I'm relying on the 2 of them to be shield guards for me.
So Tim scores a point here for the top zone, and I believe his own flag.
Yeah, I score my flag with the rocket turret, who is a solo scoring my own flag.
Wait, what was that again?
The rocket turret? Yeah.
So and I believe you contest my flag with a trencher.
Yep. Yeah, I've got a trencher within range of that flag, denying Gorman to score it. And I did not clear the bottom zone here, but I actually got quite close. Like, you've still got 4 errants in there, and I think that's by virtue of their rather impressive armor. So in terms of comeback turns, I think this was really big for me.
It was, the anatomical really, really swung that battle.
Yeah.
And that was your advantage to going second. You got to put those. Well, I should have read that and perhaps put the spells on different units. But there was, I don't even know how well that would have worked for me, but that's a whole other game. Like I said, when we finished this game, I wanted to re-rack it and play it immediately because it was so much fun, and so many things will just swing on just little nuances in the game.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking at this and I'm losing the attrition war. And I'm thinking to myself, what can I do? So I'm going to, I have Gastonne with 5 souls, so he can absolutely go crazy.
Yep.
I have 2 Mariners that are both within 17 inches of siege. And I have the Mule, which is within range of the 2 Shield Guard guys. So my initial plan is, okay, I'm going to allocate some focus. I'm going to take the Mule. I'm going to forfeit my movement to aim to get the extra range. I'm going to boost a shot into the Shield Guards. If I'm lucky, I'll get a crit dev.
Yep.
If I'm really lucky, I'll blow one guy back into siege
Sure.
and knock you both down. I hit, no crit dev, so I don't knock down the Shield Guards. And I don't even think I break armor, even on a boosted shot. A couple points. It was really disappointing roll. I got 1 point of damage, I believe I did.
Yeah, so at this point you've done...
It was to the other guy.
Yeah,
so I had 3 to 1 and 1 to the other.
And 1 to the other.
So
they're on 5 and 7 boxes respectively.
So with 5 transfers, I have to back out of that plan because you can shield guard the 2 Mariner shots, and then you can mitigate 5 points of damage off of all 4 of Gaston's shots.
And
I'm
he's
like
like 14, 18.
14, 18. I'm not really worried about hitting the 14.
Yeah, but the 18's a problem.
The 18's a problem.
Dice minus 6 that with my focus becomes dice minus 11. Like Gaston's shots all of a sudden don't do
anything.
Damage.
So it was just one of those. I had to back out of the assassination run, and it became, okay, what can I do? So, well, you know what? I'm going to try and kill a couple trench busters this turn. I'm going to try and kill them both, see if I can, set up the assassination run for next turn. I have to make sure I contest the top zone. So I think the first thing I do is that Ragman bone shakes a trencher, walks the trencher into another trencher, and they kill each other.
Sorry, that was Taryn first, right? She shot 2 guys, killed 1.
I think Taryn is dead at this point. You killed her last round.
Oh yeah, sorry. Triumph killed Taryn.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry. It was Gibbs shot his AOE gun, killed a trencher, knocked down a trencher. Ragman bone shakered somebody, had him walk
back and kill the knockdown guy.
Knockdown trencher. Yeah. So you've killed 4 models with those 2 models, which is pretty good rate.
Yeah, there's the guy going down right now.
The bone shaker play. Yep.
So I'm now like the Mariner has the Mariner's going to try and get to Rambo. So we're trying to figure out if he has a charge path, because I don't want to activate Gaston yet. If I activate Gaston, I could have probably given him Ghost Walk. But
is Ghost Walk a spell on his card, or I thought it was just his feat?
It's also a spell on his card.
Really?
Yeah, he's got a lot of tools, and Ghost Walk is great because it's model unit.
Yeah.
So, but I'm like, I don't want to waste the focus on that yet. I was saving it for some other things, and I'm like, all right, what can we do? So I just walk forward to get within 5 inches, take a shot, miss, but only scatters 1 inch. I boost the damage, and still leave the guy on 2 boxes.
Yeah,
and then
you do 6 damage to him because he has 8 boxes.
Yeah. And then I realized I made a small boo-boo, and I didn't move my loader first, so I just quickly ran my loader up, and that was his forfeited activation.
Easy enough to do.
The loader roll, man, I don't know. I wish, and the gun is such a good gun, so it can't be like the Grenadier where you got the extra shot for every guy. But I wish it was, because I don't know. Really I don't know. It's a powerful gun. I think people underestimate the power behind it, but
I really like it where you put it here in the Lily's Resistance, because you've got so many solos who can have their activation and then repo 3 and then be in position to be the loaded shot. I think it just takes a little bit more foresight, which means just more games played. So one of the things you do here, I think, is debate Gaston kind of going up and being a hero. So he does that. He goes ahead and does his death dealing thing.
Burns 4 of his 5 souls. But the good thing about his gun is if he kills a model, he gets a soul back.
Yeah, so
he steps up, has a boosted Signs Important shot, and I think he kills 3 trenchers.
Well, the first thing I think you did Ragman to nice stealth to
Rupert. Rupert took stealth off Finn.
Reinhold took stealth off Finn.
Lots of R's.
Yes.
Lots of R's.
Gaston's first shot killed Finn. Second shot, you put it into the trencher. I can't remember if you're trying to. Yeah, you shoot the sniper.
Shoot the sniper.
You hit him with authority.
And I believe
him.
He
toughs that one.
So then I just put the second shot into him, killing him.
So now I've collected 2 souls.
And then I take my third shot. I hit, kill the guy, he toughs, and then I have to put my 4th shot into him to kill him. I think I forgot to collect a soul.
No, sorry. So, yeah, you killed Finn, you killed the sniper.
I should have had an extra soul. Oh, no, then I burned one to give myself 3 defense. That's what it was.
Right. Okay.
Because I repo back behind the wall, thanks to Gibbs, my friend Gibbs. And
right. So what happened there is your first shot killed Finn. Your second shot knocked down the sniper. Your third shot killed the sniper. Your 4th shot knocked down the officer.
Right. And then
because he toughed.
And then I burned a soul to go back to def 22.
Yeah.
Because that's a thing.
It's pretty great. Well, and more relevantly is just defense 20 against melee attacks over that wall.
And as we discussed earlier, the range that Siege can get, I don't care how far back you are, I have to respect the range.
Yep. Yeah, because if I'm just like feet, move myself 3 inches, leap 5, charge you over the wall, like get to the edge of the wall and just try to whack you, I need to roll a 14, which is too risky. Just a little bit too risky.
Triumph too. Like I'm trying to take myself off the table as a target for Triumph, because at armor 15 that gun hurts.
Yeah, it does a lot of damage.
So I believe now I'm contesting both zones. I've cleared off my flag. I score my flag. I'm contesting your flag, and I pass the turn to you.
So the score is now 2-1 for Signar. And I roll a couple of continuous effects, and the Scattergunner dies, but continuous fire and Siege shakes. He had to light himself on fire to go into that spot where it was relevant. Triumph takes a shot, shoots the Mariner at this point.
Yes, you just plug some damage into the Mariner.
Dice -2 puts a nice 6 points of damage into the Mariner. Yeah, just that extra shot in the maintenance phase and the Bond giving you always boosted damage rolls. Like Triumph just gets a ton of work done as a huge artillery piece this game.
I almost wonder, like he was way overpoint costed before. Now I wonder if he's actually 1 or 2 points undercosted, because
he's 18.
I know.
I don't know, man. 18's expensive, especially like even for just 2 guns like that.
Does he also have shield guard?
He does.
Yeah, so I actually think earlier you were in range of 3 shield guards.
I think he was just out for Siege,
yeah.
And I had the 2 busters. On the first turn, on the setup turn, I definitely had 3 shield guards, but this time I think I was out. We're going to go ahead and... So I take the Master Gunner. He comes up. He takes a scattergun shot, kills the flag, and does a couple of points of damage to the officer. The Express team are going to aim. They're going to take a shot. The gentleman with his carbine shot kills the officer. And then the guy with the bear hunting gun is going to take his shot. He doesn't quite have line of sight to that guy, so he's going to take a shot at the gentleman at the end of the zone. He hits and knocks you down, and he does roll this time enough damage to kill. So, great.
I think actually at this point I'd let Dauntless Resolve drop.
Yeah, because you're down to a pretty low unit.
And the anatomical over there made... I would have forced you to change your order of activations by upkeeping it, but I used the focus and allocation to Jax that turn.
Makes sense. And Gaston has a couple of camp and is pretty safe.
And the hunter comes over, tries to punch the
last errant.
Last errant and misses.
The hunter? No, he killed him.
Oh no! It was the previous turn he shot him and missed him.
Yeah, the hunter's missed his gun. He came over and hit him because he's only looking for a 6 to hit, and he kills him on reasonable dice. And then I just want a second crack at it if it fails for some reason. Roll a dub 1s there, or don't break armor.
So now you're just punishing my poor Mariner, putting shot after shot into him. And you know what? He's not in the water, so he's only def 12. But unfortunately, he's only armor 17. So even those little like plink shots still hurt.
Yeah, the rocket turret is POW 14, and it's POW 10 on the blast. So I don't kill Rupert. I was kind of hoping it would kill Rupert, but I realized that he's armor 14, so that actually would take a 9. Put a couple of points of damage into Rupert. Put some pretty good damage into the Mariner. And I'm trying to think if I can kill Rupert and the Mariner this turn, I can score 3 points and go to a 4-point scenario differential, and I think that locks up the game for me. But like, it would be way easier to kill a heavy jack right now with Ragman.
But you can't.
Yeah, this forest is actually screened for Jay quite well. So at this point, I'm like, I think I can win the long scenario game. So my job now is just to not lose. So Siege moves over. He puts Fury onto the Trencher unit, and he jumps back and goes to just the edge of the kill box Camping 3, just focusing on survival. Like stay out of threat, stay as far back as possible, keep myself reasonably safe, make the triangle of line of sight blocking caused by the cloud in the middle of the board as large as possible. He also used Desperate Pace on the commandos, so they're advancing 8 inches, and they're going to throw some grenades at Ragman. Pardon me, at Gorman.
Gorman
First one hits him with an 11, and he smokes Gorman. Pun intended.
Ooh. Because, even back there, like all the way back at the kill box where you were, I can still get to you with 2 Mariners and Gaston himself, because Gaston can walk 6 and then range 14 his gun with fire group. So
yeah,
he's 20-inch threat. Like you change the angle of the game and you make it really difficult for me to get back there. But I can. That's the thing about this list; it has range for days.
Yeah, it's really scary. I probably should have. I'm not sure I can play that more conservatively. I mean, I could have put a hill underneath myself and not put Fury in the trenchers here, but I feel like I need Fury in the trenchers to set up for killing that Mariner. I move up with the
Gibbs.
No, the member of the express team, the spotter. He shoots his carbine, doesn't really do any damage. Gibbs assaults in the military rifle. POW 11, so he doesn't actually do any damage. And then he makes an attack with his club, hoping for a crit brutal here. He hits but doesn't crit because your movement is out
at this point.
And he's POW 10 on this. Does a couple more points. Just trying to chip away. Do as much damage as I possibly can to this Mariner. I think I've used all of my guns, so now we're at the charging in stage. I've got 2 trencher infantry, and only one of them can actually charge the Mariner. The other one's probably gonna end up charging Rupert.
Yeah, the other one charges Rupert.
Yeah,
and assaults Rupert. Rupert felt the lovin'.
Yeah, he got a little assaulted.
He was looking at the shots coming downtown.
So again, with Ragman, this would be a POW 13 shot followed by a POW 13 melee attack, and then with Fury he goes to POW 16. So losing Ragman,
you're a little salty on that Ragman play, weren't you?
It's my mistake, but man, was it a mistake! This is exactly how aggressive I can be. Oh, never mind, I lose a key piece in the list.
It's just innate Pathfinder is such a good.
It's a really strong theme benefit, especially when you're ultimately just repurposing models from other themes. Like looking hard at things that struggle because of their lack of Pathfinder and other theme lists is a really good way to find compelling options for the Lilies theme. Kill Rupert and then roll a 9 on damage with the Trencher who charged to leave the Mariner on 2 boxes.
A Cortex and a right arm, which is the anchor.
That's enough to thresh with.
Yep. Unfortunately, you leave. The models are far enough apart that I can only thresh on 2 of them, not 3. And if I have to take Gibbs and a trencher, if I want to get the 2 trenchers, I'm going to take a first strike from Gibbs, and that's probably going to finish me, so I decide not to do that.
Yeah. I do score the bottom zone.
You do.
And the flag. And I prevent you from scoring. So at this point, we're at
4-1.
4-1. I have a 3-point lead, and it still feels pretty good. I just have to not let Siege die.
Sorry. Feels good for you.
It does. It does feel good for me.
Yes. On this side of the table, I'm just wishing that crit devastation had gone off. So now here I'm looking. He's jammed me up really well, and I have 2 jacks that have been hanging back playing the range game, but I need to get in there and contest. So I could have trampled with the mule, but instead I thought I could clear the way with an AoE 4 from the mule and kill those guys so they're not tormenting my guys in the backfield. So I allocate some focus. I put 2 on the Mariner up top. Sorry, 1 on the Mariner up top, 1 on the Mule, and 1 on the Mariner on the bottom. I'm camping 3. No, I only allocate 2, 1 to each Mariner. I'm camping 4, and I bring in Anastasia actually this turn, and I tired of him scoring that top zone, so I charge the back of the surviving unit member and kill him. I walk in so he doesn't get my back. I just walk in because she has backstrike. It was a boosted attack and damage roll in the back.
It's boosted or additional die. Anyway, you kill him. You kill him amply, and he does not tough this time. So a couple of challenging parts here. I mean, I'm in a good position scenario-wise, but Jay still has a bunch of jacks. And jacks are actually pretty tough for me to kill now that he's whittled my units down considerably, and I didn't bring like a ton of base armor cracking in this list. Siege is pretty far out of position to come up and like kill a jack personally. So it comes down to, can like a hunter and an express team plus a couple of commandos kill a jack? And the answer is probably no. So we're going to have to get a little creative.
So I kill 2 with the mule and the 1 toughs, but that's fine. There's no free strikes. It is what it is. So Rupert goes. He takes tubs.
Reinhold goes stealth from the knockdown guy.
From the farther guy.
No, from the not knockdown guy.
Yeah.
And at this point,
Gaston goes up. He shoots the knockdown guy, kills him.
Gets a soul.
Oh, sorry. That's not yet. That was me moving Eilish up onto the flag. He put Puppet Master on the Mariner and teleported to the flag.
Right. Okay.
Cool surprise teleport tech.
Yeah, the
jump over to the flag.
Is pretty good.
So I put Puppet Master on the Mariner. Reinhold removes stealth from Commando. So now I'm trying to figure out, I need to get a loader within within an inch of the Mariner. Can I walk the Gobber Tinker into a spot where he can actually shoot his gun and be relevant? And the answer is no.
So you run around that obstruction.
So I have to run around, and then I can walk the Mariner into the zone, and I fire a shot. I boost the shot, fire at the express team, hit, roll damage.
Dice even, I think.
Roll I rolled horrible. I didn't break. I broke armor.
You hit him and you killed him.
No, I Puppet Mastered.
Your Puppet Master attack just aced him, and he passes the tough check.
And with Rise, that's annoying.
That is annoying. That's a big deal because he can now be a relevant gun.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right. So Gaston goes. He goes up and he cleans up those 2 guys that are kind of contesting my flag.
Yeah, as mentioned, Reinhold comes over and he removes stealth from the further away guy, so that Gaston can move up and he can be within 5 of the first guy and then have stealth mitigation on the other guy. You don't have enough souls to death deal again, but you still have Rate of Fire 2.
I have Rate of Fire 2, which with Reinhold, had I not needed to remove the stealth, I could have gone to Rate of Fire 3.
Yep.
With reload. When you have Death Dealer up, you can't actually add that 5th shot because it specifically says in the rules you cannot go above 4 shots, but I needed the stealth mitigation, so I kill the 1 guy and then the other guy toughs, and then I repo behind the wall and give myself 3 defense.
Yeah, you're on 3 souls right now, and I think we actually debate whether or not you need the 3 defense.
Yeah, that's right. I was like, because you're so far back, I'm like, you can't get to me. I'm still camping focus. I can mitigate some damage from the triumph shot. So I want to get back up to 5 souls, so I decide not to burn a soul that turn. I move the Mariner up. I boost 2 attacks. I Thresher. I kill the 2 guys. Contesting the zone on the bottom, and I'm scoring my flag, and I pass the clock.
You do not contest my flag, though.
I do not contest your flag. You still score.
Yeah. So
we both score 1 there.
Yeah.
Or no, I think you're contesting my flag with a guy hiding in the fire.
Nope. No, the trench buster is just out of range.
Oh.
Yeah, we looked at that too. So we maintain that 3-point scenario differential. So at this point, my game plan has to be find a way to prevent Jay from scoring and score 2 points. So I'm looking right now for maintenance phase shots from Triumph. That Gobber Tinker is actually a real problem because what I want to do is kill him with a gun, and against guns, he's defense 18. Because he has cover. He's hiding behind his own cart, which is just absurd. So I think about a couple of different things. I think about a Triumph shot where he needs an 11. And I instead decide if I need to do that, I'll do it when I can aim and boost. I need like a boosted 9 instead. So Triumph takes a shot, and he chooses to shoot Eilish instead. So he shoots Eilish and hits. Boosted damage, he kills Eilish. So that solves the problem of me scoring that flag.
Of me scoring my flag.
Yeah.
Of you needing to contest it.
Yeah. He can see through the cloud in the center of the board because he has true sight.
True sight.
Yep.
Which, poor Eilish.
Yeah. So the the express team, they fire a shot at the Mariner, and with Thunderbolt they push him out of the zone, and that's all they need to do. Just a couple of points and push him out of the zone. They fire their second shot given to them by the Master Gunner at the Gobber, but they miss because he's defense 18. The Hunter forwards movement to aim, boosts to hit, shoots the Gobber. No problem. Armor 12 drops down to 6, dice even, does 4 damage to the Gobber.
4, 3, 4, whatever. You leave him alive. There was a look from Tim.
Yeah,
and there was some colorful words that came out of Tim's mouth, and I'm like,
that's a problem. So Triumph forwards movement to aim, boost hit, shoots Stacy. She's stealth. I got to kill her. Fortunately, I do hit with a
boost. You hit a boosted 15.
Sorry, I rolled a 6. It was 2. Yeah. I hit exactly a boosted 15 and killed her to the box. Or really, I mean, killed her amply.
You left her boots.
Hit her to the box.
You left her boots there. The rest of her disappeared.
Yeah, it ambushed away.
Yes,
that's how they'll tell the story.
Yes.
So
now you have the game basically locked up, but you're just trying to get that, tournament play, trying to get that last point.
Yeah, I did. I killed the Mariner, so I'm in a position to score that side of the board. I finished the Gobber with a Trench Buster charge, and I go to 3 more points, which 4 to 1 goes to 5 to 2 goes to 8 to 2, and that's the end of the game.
And it was actually a fun game. Like I said, I would love to re-rack and play that.
Yeah, it was an interesting matchup. I think the Gastonne list has a lot of tools. I might look at tweaking it or playing around with different iterations of the battle group. I really like the idea of Vanguards because they're Lealese models, so they get Native Pathfinder 2, which is kind of cool. They don't give you that like downtown shooting game that Jay's list obviously has access to. But
I was actually thinking changing the mule to a 3rd Mariner.
More Mariners.
Well, I run 5 with Shay, so I mean.
Oh god, that list is terrible. I mean like terrible in all respects. Like it can shoot your deployment zone, which is just dumb.
Shh, I'm waiting for SR 2018 where they might move that terrain piece in the middle of the board.
It's only in 2/3 of scenarios, and it's not at every convention. But I really love how dynamic the games have become because of that line of sight blocking piece. I think it was everything in the game was all Sloan all the time, and now it's way more interesting.
And like what we did today is we had a burning earth in the middle of the table.
Yeah,
which is not typical, and it really changes things up. Like a cloud in the middle of the table. It's not a forest. It's not an obstruction.
Yep.
But it's also a hazard. So it adds that you can't spray through it element, which really kind of also, it adds some fun stuff.
You can move through it, which is really neat.
Yeah.
Like I really like the notion of clouds. They're a little bit more porous than like buildings in the middle of the board are. The right answer is a variety of pieces make for a really interesting game.
I almost wish there was like a 4th. I don't know what it would be, but I wish there was like a 4th version of
cloud obstruction.
I don't know. Water that's misty. I don't know. Like a cloudy water. I don't know. Like there could be something.
If you see cloudy water when you pee, you should consult the physician. I'm
all minions, so it's all good. I'd be fine with that.
All right. Anyway, guys, thanks very much for listening, folks, and that's us. We'll see you next week, and hopefully you enjoyed the episode.
Take care, everyone.